is Terrence Copper, NFL veteran.
It's your boy DC Golden.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Bud Supreme.
DJ Johnson, wide receiver for East Carolina University.
This is Jordan Adams with the Los Angeles Angels.
Packard, baseball player for the Detroit Tigers, and you're watching Good Talk.
Good talk.
Good talk.
Good talk.
It's good talk.
Yeah. Ain't no more remote. Oh shit.
No intuition. Tell me why I'm living, why am I remaining? I'm smoking Scotty but not pimping. I taught my son how to stack that shit to the ceiling. Drop a body and you wouldn't have to pay for lunch.
Welcome back.
My dog I'm riding, whether he right or wrong.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
I got big, they record my life through a drone.
It's been a long time coming.
bitch,
Hey,
stay behind
I swear to
me.
God, I promise we are not just an NBA podcast, bro. That's just how the timeline happened to fall. I swear to God, though, we not an NBA podcast. We're not just an NBA podcast. I promise. I promise.
But you a spot now, you don't never gotta go. Yeah. I told my nigga I'ma drop the jewels on it. You gotta go through this shit here with your heart.
Hey, Jeffrey dropped. Jeffrey dropped.
Better lose on it. I know you heard that old saying about bad fruit, homie.
What you say? If you can't beat it, knock it out 'em. If you a killer, bet not be slapping.
I told my daughter keep one in the head, she ain't gotta cock it. I told my son if he wanted to live, he might catch a body.
Welcome back to the Good Talk podcast, man.
Catch a body. His driver,
It's been a long time.
still can't do it.
Long time. I miss y'all too, no cap.
Driving a dead body. I ain't really into nothing, but I spin it like a hobby. I was locked inside the trap, didn't think about it, but I got at it. Now my cars and clothes exotic. I ain't 6'9", but 2 hoes with me right now. You call me shotty. I been dropping all my Vicks and now the FBI won't stop me. Got this shit on fire like a tacky nigga.
Like whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my. This shit magical. No cap. Ain't no more reminiscing. Ain't no more judging, no intuition. Yeah. I'm smoking Scotty, but not. Lot to go through. Per usual, though. Y'all know. If you're new to the show, welcome. Happy to have you. You know, if you've heard already, listened already, welcome back. We back. We back and we good. We back for good. Man. We back for good now. No cap. No cap. We back for good. Matt Black, old Trans Am. Thank you, ma'am. We gonna make us a new cam. I just came up watching my pot gamble. My food stamps, I just cause cramps. I don't go back and forth with tramps. Hey, just for that, I'ma call you, ma'am.
Got that T-Rex, I just gave my daddy the cam. I got that
sheets wet, pick that little bitch up, then I slam it like I'm from DX. Then I fold her up like a crown. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey! Oh, let me turn this shit off. Welcome in. This is the Good Talk podcast. I am your host, JJ. Thank you very much for being here. I am grateful. I'm super ecstatic to be back. And we just gonna get right to the shits, man. Follow us on Instagram at Goodies and Two Shoes, at G2S Good Talk Pod. On Twitter at 2_goodies, TikTok at goodies.N2shoes. Snapchat, y'all can fuck with me, Jeremy Joyner. Everything, bro. Do want to say we are in the midst of our breast cancer awareness drop. So if you haven't gotten a shirt already, make sure you check out the page, DM the page if you're interested in buying a shirt. 10% of the proceeds, 10% of all proceeds will be going to breast cancer awareness research, breast cancer research. The research foundation for that. So, you know, it is being done for a good cause. So again, check us out there at Goodies and Two Shoes if you're interested in the shirt. For specifically the pod at G2S Good Talk Pod. And you know, we'll be dropping clips, promos, things of that nature on that. That is a relatively new page that we started. So go ahead and do that as well. And welcome back, man. Welcome back. Like I said, this I've been on a sort of hiatus I think I came back for like one episode, said that, we wouldn't be leaving again. Turns out we left again just for the time being. But from the looks of it, we're back, and we're back for good. We're back for good. We got a lot of big things coming up on the podcast, different segments, a couple of new guests that we'll be implementing. So it's very exciting time to be a part of the wave, a part of the movement. And, we're here. And we're going to make it do what it do. So let's get started. Let's jump right into our scores from last night. College football App State defeated number 12 Coastal Carolina 30-27. The Mountaineers closed the game out in final seconds as Chandler Staten laced 24-yard field goal to secure App's fifth win of the season. 347 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no picks from App's quarterback Chase Bryce. Malik Williams also put on a show with 10 catches for 206 yards to go along with a touchdown. Defensively, DeMarco Jackson anchored the defense with 10 tackles. Quickly moving on to baseball, the Atlanta Braves take a shocking 3-1 lead over the LA Dodgers. 9-2 out in the LA. Eddie Rosario put on a hitting clinic, going 4-5 for 2 home runs and a triple. Freddie Freeman and Adam Duvall also added in a few runs off the long ball. No lack of pitching for Atlanta as well. 2 runs only given up by 6 different pitchers. Astros demolished the Red Sox on back-to-back nights, with the 9-1 victory being the most recent of the two. The entire lineup continues to master baseball. In all actuality, that's what we've been seeing for the past 2 or 3 years consecutively. So it's really no surprise. Astros, I want to say again, they are up in that series 3-2. With the next game, I want to say being Friday. So that's something to look forward to. Outstanding pitching performance. Farmer Valdez went 8 innings and only allowed 1 run. Quickly moving on to basketball. Wild night in the Garden as the Knicks opened up the season with a double overtime victory over the Celtics. 138-134 was the final there. 46, 9, and 6 from Jaylen Brown, making it known that he's back and better than ever. If you will remember, Jaylen Brown got hurt, I want to say probably about a month and a half, 2 months before the end of the season, which kind of cut the Boston Celtics run down a little bit. So they were eliminated, I want to say, first or second round. So, but Jaylen Brown is back. Let's just say that. For the Knicks, 35-8-9 from last year MVP candidate Julius Randle, 32-6-3 from Evan Fournier, and 19 from third-year guy R.J. Barrett. Out in Phoenix, the Nuggets clipped the Suns 110-98, 27-13-2 from MVP Nikola Jokic, 20 from Will Barton, 15 from MPJ, and 13 from Uncle Jeff off the bench. For the Suns, really nothing to highlight besides their inability to close out games. It's trickled over from last year in June, when they had Milwaukee Bucks up against the ropes, couldn't close the deal, and it's simply translated over to this year. So it seems to be the same old Phoenix Suns, unfortunately. I will go ahead and say right now that if you are a returning listener from the podcast, you will know that I was on the Phoenix Suns bandwagon extremely heavy last year. This year, not so much. I think that there's an extreme possibility that they'll either be the 4, 5, 6 seed and that they'll be clipped in the first round. I really believe that. I genuinely do. I think that the Phoenix Suns blew their opportunity. I feel like Chris Paul blew his opportunity. And to be quite honest with you, they're done. They really are. You take a look at what we saw from Golden State against the LA Lakers with no Klay Thompson, no Jonathan Kuminga, no Wiseman. Still was able to go into LA and beat the LA Lakers team that consists of LeBron James, who went for 30 plus, Anthony Davis, who went for 30 plus, Carmelo Anthony, Westbrook, those type guys. Now given, I know it's way, way too early to make a prediction, but I think that the West, is going to be just as deep, if not deeper, this year than last year. So Phoenix, like I said, they blew their opportunity. I was rooting for Phoenix extremely hard. I wanted them to win it all. I was on the Phoenix bandwagon for about 4 or 5 months, pushing hard for the guys, et cetera, et cetera. But, they had a storybook run, and they blew the opportunity. It's just that simple. And I just really genuinely do not believe that they'll be back. I think that the Phoenix Suns are done. I'll be very interested to see what happens with DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker going forward, as well as Chris Paul. But, we kind of understand that Chris Paul's career is coming to an end. But within the next 2, 3, 4 years, I'm very interested to see what happens with those two superstars. Before the season started, Phoenix and DeAndre Ayton were trying to work on a contract extension. They could not get it done because DeAndre Ayton wanted max dollars. And to be quite honest with you, if we're going to be transparent with each other, he deserves max dollars. He is a max dollar big man. So they couldn't get the deal done there. So we'll see how that develops throughout the season. Devin Booker, I think he's locked up for a little while, but we'll see. It'll be interesting with them. Don't want to stay on basketball too much. Of course, you do know we had the season opener Tuesday night. Milwaukee beat the absolute brakes off of Brooklyn. A Kyrie Irving-less Brooklyn, I might add, because he still has not gotten his vaccine. And that's a completely different conversation. No matter, what side of the fence you're on and that specific, for that specific incident, no matter what side of the fence you're on with that, it's going to be very interesting to see how Brooklyn proceeds this year as well. It really is, because, the Milwaukee Bucks, based on what I saw Tuesday night, they haven't lost a step. They haven't lost a step. Harden seems as though his game has regressed to a certain degree. Now, again, all of this is way too early. I understand. All of this is way too early, So I'm not going to get ahead of myself. But just from what I've seen the first 2 nights of the NBA, and we'll touch on the Lakers and Golden State, and then we'll get out of here, because I told you this is not an NBA podcast, but we have to talk about it. All right, so Milwaukee hasn't lost a step. James Harden has seemed, over the past year and some change, has seemed that his game has regressed a bit. Now, given I know he had the hamstring injury in the playoffs last year, I know he was dealing with injury throughout the whole season last year, as was the entire Brooklyn Net team. But that's part of the game. At this point, we just have to be honest. That's part of the game. Kevin Durant we can all acknowledge he is the best player in basketball right now. But in the modern NBA, you can't do it by yourself. Matter of fact, I won't even say in the modern NBA. No NBA at any time have you been able to do it by yourself, and this is no different. This is no different. The Miami Heat will be a threat. Milwaukee, defending NBA champions, obviously, will be a threat at this very moment. I have them coming out of the East at this very moment. Between Milwaukee and Miami. That's my way, way, way too early Eastern Conference Finals prediction. Milwaukee versus Miami. And I do have Milwaukee coming out of that. Though I want to see how Miami, how that chemistry and things of that nature is built within Miami's locker room, because I do believe that they'll be a force to be reckoned with as well. So we'll see. We'll see. And on just to touch on Kyrie Irving again, no matter what side of the fence you're on, I see it both ways. I understand him. He's a grown man. As an American, he has the right to decline the vaccine or feel like, it's rushed. He doesn't want to do it. Whatever may have you. However he feels about it, he has the right to feel that way. He has the right to feel that way. And as Americans, again, everybody has the right to feel that way. But from a team perspective, because I went to All-Star Weekend in Charlotte. And I went to the All-Star game practice. And me and my dad, we left the All-Star Weekend knowing that Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant would be teammates at some point in the very, very near future. Fast forward, a year and a half, 2 years later, they become teammates in Brooklyn, right? So you're leaving your guys high and dry. So you also have that side of the fence as well. So, I mean, it's a very, very sticky situation. The Brooklyn Nets have put their foot down and let Kyrie Irving know he will not be playing road games or home games until he figures out what he's going to do. We could be seeing a potential trade in a very near future. You know, we could see Kyrie Irving fold and give into, you know, what the NBA and the Brooklyn Nets organization want him to do. We could be seeing that very soon. But I do not think Kyrie Irving is that type guy to fold on his morals. Because at the end of the day, these are his morals. What he sees to be right. And again, he has the right to feel that way. And Kyrie Irving, again, just hasn't struck me as the type of guy that would fold on that. And it seems like this is the topic that he feels very, very strongly about. I mean, and we can't, and it's very possible, I'll say this and then we'll move on again. I'll say this. It's very possible that we could be seeing the end of the Brooklyn Nets before it really even got going. God honest truth. And really, that would be probably the biggest disappointment maybe of the last 10, 15, 20 years from a team as a whole. You can go back and say Miami when when they lost to Dallas the first year they were together with D-Wade, Bosh, LeBron, those guys. You could say that. But at the same time, they made it to the NBA Finals. Well, all of that being said, we had another game Tuesday night. Golden State and LA. And I'm going to be very, very quick on this. I just have a couple of things that I want to say. I'm not going to go into detail or any of that. Golden State, to me, looks like the best team in the West already. And I say that not because of the talent that they have on the court right now. All I'm going to say is LA had LeBron, AD, Westbrook, and Carmelo, all four playing. Three of the four played extremely well. Westbrook, I don't know what the fuck he was doing. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. He really could have just stayed home on this particular night because he was just out of it. He was just lost. But three of the four played exceptionally well. Like I said, 30 plus from LeBron. I believe he had a triple-double. 30 plus from AD. Extremely good first half of basketball. I think I told the boys, I was watching the game with my boys, and I was like, yeah, LA is clipped. LA is clipped, and I'm going to tell you why, because they just played an extremely good half of basketball, and they're only up 6, only up 7. Whatever it was a single-digit lead, and I knew off rip they were clipped. And with that being said, Golden State came out, punched them in the mouth in the second half, and Steph Curry, he put up a triple-double, but listen, he only dropped 19 points. Shot horribly from the field. Looked to be a shell of himself in all actuality. And they still beat the Lakers by 6, I believe. Maybe more. Let me go see what the final score of that game was. Yeah, beat them by 7. No Kuminga, no Wiseman, no Clay. So to me, when those guys come back and everybody starts getting their rhythm, with the way Jordan Poole is playing currently, I mean, damn. It's a lot of teams have a long day. So my way too early Western Conference Final champion prediction, Golden State. Way too early. Obviously, as the season progresses, injuries will occur. Teams will, show us who they really are, et cetera, et cetera. Way too early prediction, Golden State coming out of the West. Golden State, Milwaukee, Golden State. So that's what I have on that. Like I said, real quick. Let's go over some sports news. Let's see what we have. Obviously, we talked about Kyrie Irving already. Still does not have the vaccine. Again, that is his choice. He has every right to feel however he feels about the situation. But just know, shit could be going very, very badly for the Brooklyn Nets. It really could. It really could. The Brooklyn Nets really could be done before we even see them get started. Unfortunately. And that's very, very disappointing. Deshaun Watson. It is being reported that teams are still in touch with the Texans regarding quarterback Deshaun Watson. Among the teams being named, the Dolphins, Eagles, and Panthers have been the constants throughout the whole saga. And it's being reported that the Miami Dolphins are very close to finalizing a deal with the Houston Texans to send Deshaun Watson to Miami. So I'll be quick on this as well, just because I kind of want to cut back on time and things of that nature. So I'll try and be as quick as possible. I am a Panthers fan, as you all know. Sam Darnold is not the answer. So without knowing all the details and everything on the case, everything that he has pending, I would say the Panthers need to ramp up and do what it takes to go get Deshaun Watson. But with that being said, I know a lot on the case. And I know that just due to the fact right now that we don't have all the information that we need, and we don't know when Deshaun Watson will be eligible to play. We simply do not. We don't know what legal ramifications will be brought upon him. He's too big of a risk. I'll just be honest. Outstanding quarterback when he's healthy. Top 7, top 10 quarterback in the league, no question. And that might be even stretching it, because I feel like I can make an argument for top 6, top 5, honestly. So, it'll be interesting to see. Again, Miami is the closest team from what I'm understanding. They are the closest team to a deal, and a deal was rumored to be extremely close last night. So we'll see how that plays out. I want to say Miami has 1 win on the season this year. Let me take a look at that. What I do know is they're not very good. That we can all agree on. Yeah. 1 win. Maybe they'll get a win again. Get a win against Atlanta this week. But everything else has looked relatively pedestrian. Actually, I would say worse than pedestrian. They look horrible. Tua, we know he was dealing with the cracked ribs earlier in the year. He's now back. Based on what I'm seeing. So we'll see. We'll see. That I don't believe that would be a terrible fit. I don't believe that would be a terrible fit. Should they land Deshaun Watson, I'm not 100% sure that it won't work. He really has the ability to elevate a team, a subpar team, to being a playoff contender. We've seen that already before. He's done it numerous times throughout his career. So we know he has the ability to do it. Now, at this very moment, the biggest problem, the biggest issue, the thing that must be dealt with expeditiously before any trade happens, in my opinion, is we have to have a little bit more clarification on the situation at hand. And that's just a simple fact of the matter. It is. It was reported this morning that Baker Mayfield will have to have surgery on his torn labrum at the end of the season. So with that being said, Case Keenum will start tonight against the Denver Broncos. And that we kind of understood that was going to be the case anyway. But that is finalized. Again, I don't know what is going to happen with Baker Mayfield in the coming weeks. Obviously, it is a short week for the Cleveland Browns this week. So it was inevitable that, Baker Mayfield would not be playing this week against Denver. But the Cleveland Browns really having a tough go at it this year. They really are. First, you had Nick Chubb. Well, first, let's start all the way back. First, you had Odell. He did not start the season. Jarvis Landry then got placed on IR, I want to say week 1 or 2. Then you had Nick Chubb 2 weeks ago. Then last week you had Kareem Hunt and Baker Mayfield. So they're really having a tough go at it. I hate to see that because Cleveland is one of my favorite teams to watch just based on from an entertainment point of view. They are one of my favorite teams to watch. So it's really, really disappointing to see how things are going down right now for them. Again, being confirmed by Ian Rappaport, Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield is expected to need labrum surgery following this season. So that's something else to keep your eye on going out, throughout the duration of this season because, we don't know if he'll play again this year. I do believe since they are reporting on it saying that he will need it following the season, I do believe that the goal right now is to get Baker Mayfield back on the field. But what Baker Mayfield are we getting? And that's the question. So, again, very devastating news for the Cleveland Browns, I will say. 3-3 right now. Third in the AFC North behind Cincinnati and Baltimore. And I will say that the Pittsburgh Steelers are gaining. They are. Pittsburgh Steelers have won their last 2 games. And this week, let's see who they have. Actually, they're on a bye this week. Pittsburgh is on a bye this week. So, 3-3, same record as Cleveland. So we really could be seeing the Cleveland Browns finish 4th in their division this year, unfortunately. After a playoff run, after the playoff run that they had last year, so it's very, very disappointing again to see what's going down in Cleveland right now. Hopefully, they can kind of get back on track. I don't foresee that happening this year. Maybe next year, they can get everybody healthy and be back and rolling, ready to go for the 2022 season. But with that being said, you can pretty much put Cleveland in a body bag for this year. It's over with. It's done. Sayonara. Simply. That leads us to our game of the week. If you are new, our game of the week is something that we do every week. Obviously, we highlight a game. Whether it just be a regular Thursday night football game or whether it be a big playoff game, whatever it may have you. My game of the week this week is Cleveland and Denver tonight. I have Denver winning by 6. I think that just based on the fact that Case Keenum will be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, based on the fact that Cleveland is dealing with the amount of injuries they are dealing with, based on the fact that we don't know if Odell Beckham Jr. will be healthy and be a go. And we'll stay there. We'll stay in that division. I just simply want to ask, and I want to start doing the mailbag questions. I want to start doing a mailbag segment. Whether you have questions, comments on what I said, the previous episode, whatever may have you. So this is what I'm going to ask y'all. And I'm going to put a poll up and I'll read some of y'all's responses. Okay, this is what I want to ask. What in the hell has happened to Kansas City? And I'll just leave it there because I feel like I know the answer. I think that Pat Mahomes started smelling himself a little bit. And I think that niggas are starting to be on that shit. And they starting to get a little bit more physical with those receivers outside. They're starting to get a little bit more physical with Travis Kelce. Niggas is starting to crack Pat in his shit. And the defense is just an atrocity, simply. I believe they're ranked number 32 in the league. Like, legitimately. Their defense is absolutely horrible. So I to a certain degree, know what has happened, but I want to hear y'all's take on it. Because this is just mind-boggling to me. I'll just be completely transparent. I don't understand it. I really do not. It's one of the more confusing things that I've seen this season. Matter of fact, the most confusing thing that I've seen this season. Really is. Very, very confusing. Very interesting to see. And what I want y'all to do is simply, when I put the poll up, if you hear this after the poll and you want to DM me sometime throughout the week, I just want y'all to tell me what has happened with Kansas City. With that being said, it's a possibility them niggas might not even make the playoffs. Don't let that shit happen. That's all I'm gonna say. Cause I just saw them pay this nigga half a billion. And y'all know how I get. Cause today I've been chilling. Today I've been, relaxed, just giving information. Don't let them niggas not make the playoffs and see what type of energy I come in here on. Cause if that happens, I'm on everybody in the fucking organization's top. No cap. Pat, Andy Reid, the GM for Kansas City. I'm on everybody's top. Don't fuck around and let Kansas City not make the playoffs. Because I'm coming in here and I'm popping my shit. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all right now. So, again, DM the page, respond to the poll or the open-ended question on IG, whatever may have you. Let me know what's happened with Kansas City. Why has everything gone to shit based on what you've seen? Because it's crazy. It's crazy. I never thought I'd see the day, but here we are. And it is, it's just terrible. It's horrible. It really is. Let's see. What else? What else do we have on the docket? I'm trying to get through everything quick. As time goes on and, we get a little bit more locked in as far as the podcast is concerned. And I'm back to y'all on a weekly basis. We'll spend a little bit more time on different topics and things of that nature. But for today, I just want to touch on a couple of things just because we have so much going on. We have the baseball playoffs. We're right in the heart of that. Of course, basketball season started Tuesday. NFL, we're currently in week 7. So we have a lot of things going on. So for the time being, I just kind of want to roll through some of this stuff, give my take on it, and keep it pushing. And we'll build from there going forward in the next coming weeks. And I'm gonna say this: one comment, one statement, whatever it may have you, and I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna leave it there. Niggas need to put respect on that nigga Lamar Jackson's name and stop fucking playing with him like he's a child. Cause he's not. That nigga is a grown ass man. And really, if we're being honest with each other, based on what I've seen this year, motherfucker's a top 5 quarterback. A top 5 quarterback. And it's not even a debate to me. There's maybe, if I'm starting a team and I'm not taking players' primes, I'm talking about right now today, just based on what I see in the 2021 NFL season. There's maybe 4 quarterbacks that I'm taking over Lamar Jackson if I'm starting the organization tomorrow. Maybe. And even then, that's stretching it. I'll take Rodgers. I'll take Tom. Debatable between Matthew Stafford and maybe, I won't say maybe. I'll say maybe Matthew Stafford and Kyler Murray. In all actuality, fuck Matthew Stafford. Dak Prescott. So that's the 5 right there. Rodgers, Brady, Kyler, Dak, and who? Who was the other one? Why am I going blank? Kyler Murray. Those are the 5 right now. And those are the only 5. So I'll say top 6. But again, that's a stretch. Lamar Jackson is a stud. Lamar Jackson is a top 5 to 6 quarterback, depending on your perspective of the situation. Because I could even make a fucking point that he really might be top 3 right now. With Dak Prescott and Tom Brady being the only 2 that I can definitively say I would prefer to have. So all of this stuff about he can't throw, you know, I love Stephen A. Smith. I love Stephen A. Smith. If you know me personally, you know I absolutely love Stephen A. Smith. But the nigga talks like a jackass sometimes, and I can admit it. You know, everybody has their flaws. He talks like a jackass sometimes. So I see him this week, I want to say Monday, talking about he doesn't know if Lamar Jackson can get it done in the playoffs. Bro, this shit is like, what, year 3? Year 3, year 4? And the lady that was on with, I don't even know the lady's name because, you know, they're changing everybody out every day and things of that nature on First Take currently. But the lady was just like, bro, I've never seen the goalpost change for anybody like it changes for Lamar Jackson on a year in, year out basis, on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. It's always something wrong. It's always something flawed about Lamar Jackson. Well, damn it, I'm here to say right now, niggas need to stop changing the goalpost for Lamar. Lamar Jackson is a top tier quarterback in the NFL right now, without question. Because I know a lot of y'all watch football. I know a lot of y'all have favorite teams. And I know if I come to you and say, would you rather have your starting quarterback or Lamar Jackson right now, just based on what you've seen this season, a lot of y'all, if a gun was to your head and a lie detector test was connected to it, a lot of y'all would have to say Lamar Jackson because y'all know it's true. It's just one of those things. And I'll do a callback all the way back to May, June, July. Whenever we were talking about the NBA playoffs and how I was telling you that, you know, Russell Westbrook was one of those guys that people just love to hate on just for the hell of it. Lamar Jackson is one of those athletes that is just fun to hate on him. It's public perception to hate on him. But for what reason? Nobody can really tell me. And for that, I will say he's a top tier quarterback. Because the shit about he can't throw, false. We know the threat that he poses as an athlete, as far as escapability, as far as shiftiness, as far as speed. So we really, there's nothing that Lamar Jackson really does that is flawed, honestly. And that's just me keeping it a band, for real. Niggas can't, they'll try to, he can't throw, he can't do this, he can't, but he can. Go look at the film. Don't just look at what ESPN, them niggas are highlighting, because ESPN be hating on Lamar too. They be hating on Lamar too. They love putting him up when he gets shifty. You know, he do a little stop shit, break a nigga ankle. They love putting him up then. But as soon as he makes one mistake, they on his top. And then it becomes Lamar can't throw. Lamar has poor IQ. Lamar can't see the field. It's cap. It's cap. Do your research. Go watch the film. Watch entire games. Don't just watch clips and highlights and shit like that. Watch the entire game and watch the respect that he demands on the field. Because I can tell y'all, the media, they can say whatever the fuck they want. But when you have an opposing coach and they have the Baltimore Ravens on their schedule for the upcoming week, niggas is shitty. I can tell you that right now. Niggas is shitty. And they nervous because they don't know what they're going to do. They don't know what they're going to do. They losing sleep. I'm telling you. I know that to be a fact. They losing sleep over this nigga. So stop playing. All of that being said, stop playing with Lamar Jackson's name because he is not a child. He's not a bitch. He's not a baby. He's none of that. He's not an inaccurate all of these false narratives that revolve around him. The only flaw, I'll play devil's advocate to a certain degree. Only flaw is ball security. And to me, that's easily fixable. And I know how niggas hate and say, I just say sensationalized shit. I just say, stuff for a reaction. I just be talking like the Mac Jones clip. Niggas was hating on me because they were like, you don't have any proof. You just hating on them because this and that, whatever. But at the end of the day, if we just keeping it a stat, just go look at the stats. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to go into it. Just go look at the stats and you tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Because if I'm lying, then, shit, don't listen. But the problem is, I know I'm not lying. So, that's just the reality of this situation. A lot of niggas hate on Lamar. And if we being honest, we know why they hate on Lamar. And I'm not even going to get into it. But we know why the media, why all of these, analysts, all of these experts, whatever. We know why they hate on Lamar. We do. But at the end of the day, them niggas what? They have one loss. So, and they just clipped one of the best teams in the AFC in LA. They clipped Kansas City earlier in the year. Slid by on an extremely pedestrian day from the entire team against Detroit, which we understand that. But the thing about it is they simply find a way to win. And really, in all actuality, I have to trace that back to that being the Lamar Jackson effect. Because he wins football games. People can highlight what he does in the playoffs, whatever may have you. Obviously that matters. But if we talking about just for the sake of the conversation, Lamar Jackson wins football games, bro. And to circle back around, we know why they hate on Lamar Jackson. We know why they changed the goalposts for Lamar Jackson. We understand why this has been a constant revolving door. We get it. And if you don't know why, do your research and just think about it. Look at him and then look at the other the other 31 quarterbacks that have started this year in the NFL or that came in as the starter week 1 in the NFL. And you tell me what you see. You tell me what you see. A lot of pretty boys, a lot of marketable motherfuckers, a lot of, crossing the T's, dotting the I's type niggas. Lamar, you know what time it is when he walk in the room. Yeah, he one of them niggas. He one of them niggas. So, like I said, we know why the goalpost is constantly changing for Lamar. We know why they constantly find a flaw in Lamar's game when there really isn't one. We know why all of this shit occurs. With all of that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get off this topic. With all of that being said, watch out for Baltimore because right now they really are a threat to come out of the AFC. Because I would absolutely adore watching the Baltimore Ravens go up against the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship game. I would love that. Because the thing about it is Buffalo really might fuck around and get clipped. No cap. And don't let Lamar win a chip year 4 or year 3, year 4. Don't do that. Cause y'all think I'm riding hard for this nigga now. Oh my God. Oh my God. But just don't let it happen. Do I think it'll happen? No, I don't think that Baltimore has enough. I don't. But if it does, however, I can go ahead and tell y'all what energy I'm on. I can go ahead and tell y'all what energy I'm on if the Baltimore Ravens win the Super Bowl championship. It's bad. Moving on. Like I said, I mentioned Dak Prescott earlier. Dak Prescott, in my opinion, should be number 1 for comeback player of the year. also should be number one for MVP. With the way Brady's playing, they love sucking this nigga's dick. So, do I believe that Dak will win it? Maybe not. But if you just go look at the film, if you go look at the teams they've played, if you go look at winning time, clutchness, accuracy on passes, there's no reason that Dak Prescott shouldn't be the number one candidate for MVP this year. It's not. And with that being said, the Dallas Cowboys are a force to be reckoned with as well. Because they look like the real deal. Because let's sit back and talk about it, right? Last year, we had a Dallas team that couldn't close out games. We had a Dallas team that was without their leader in Dak Prescott. I want to say he got hurt, week 5, week 6, somewhere in that range. Before then, he was putting on an absolute clinic, but they weren't necessarily winning football games. So we had a Dallas Cowboys team that had an inability to win games, had an inability to close out teams that they should have beat, had a subpar defense, mediocre at best. An incompetent coach in Mike McCarthy, which, if we want to be honest, that to me, because I saw him almost fold in a New England game. And this isn't the first occurrence. Because I remember he pulled some bullshit probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago where he mismanaged his timeouts, whatever may have you. So this is kind of a constant thing. That's why he had to get going out of Green Bay, because A-Rod won't putting up with that bullshit no more. And as you saw this summer, A-Rod really gets what he wants. Like when A-Rod speak, niggas jump. No cap. So, incompetent head coach. And that may be the only thing that prohibits Dallas from making it to the Super Bowl this year. Is that, right? But if we're just talking about from the span of last year to this year and what has changed, maybe Mike McCarthy has gotten a little bit better. I don't know. Or maybe Dak Prescott is just playing the best football of his life. Maybe everything is finally coming together for Dallas. Because we knew last year with the addition of CeeDee Lamb, we knew that Dallas would be a force to be reckoned with. But I don't think any of us thought, besides the delusional ass Cowboys fans, I don't think that anybody else really expected or saw this coming from the Dallas Cowboys. And they are a force to be reckoned with. To me, the best wide receiving core in the game. Because I don't think that you can name a wide receiver room right now that is better than the wide receiver room of the Dallas Cowboys. I don't. Because the problem is they have 4. Other teams have 3 at most. And the third one, majority of the time, any team that you name to me that you're going to combat, my statement about their wide receiver core with, any team that you name to me, they're going to have 2 and a possible. But Dallas has 3. Matter of fact, Dallas has 4. And one of the 4 hasn't even played since week 1. So you have that. You have Dak Prescott playing an elite brand of football. You have a fucking lockdown corner. So one half of the field on every play should really just be like, nigga, don't throw to that side. I don't know why niggas keep trying them. Deadass. I really don't. I don't know why quarterbacks keep trying Tay Diggs. I cannot understand for the life of me. I really don't. That whole shit should be locked down. You have a specimen in Michael Parsons, who I would say really should be the front runner for Rookie of the Year. But I know how things go. I know that offense is more sexy. So I'm sure if I had to take a guess right now, if they were giving out the award today, I'm sure it would go to Jamar Chase. Deservedly so, because he's been playing the elite brand of football as well. But at 1B, Michael Parsons should be there. Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, the running back duo that they've become. I mean, this nigga Tony Pollard gains about 10 yards every time he touches the football. So we have that as well. The offensive line looking like they are a top 2, top 3 offensive line once again. Last year didn't seem that way. They dealt with a lot of injuries, a lot of suspensions, which is typical for the Dallas Cowboys. We already know that. So that was nothing really surprising or new. But we had that as well. So, I mean, long story short, just to, again, cut down on time just a little bit, the Dallas Cowboys are a force to be reckoned with. And to me, they should be the favorites coming out of the AFC. A lot of mouths to be fed over there. A lot of niggas that's different over there. Dre. We know. I don't even need to say any more than that. Dre, he different. AJ, shit, I ain't even gonna say he really different like that because he hasn't played a full season for the last 3, 4, 5 years straight. So we don't know what's gonna happen with that. But shit, AJ this year, different. James Conner and Chase Edmonds, the way they're running the football, the running threat that Kyler Murray poses, they all threats. So to me, that is the team, really, in all actuality, that's the team that the Dallas Cowboys should be worried about the most. I don't think it's Tampa. I don't think it's LA. I really genuinely believe that Arizona poses the biggest threat to the Dallas Cowboys being NFC champions. And I can go ahead and say this. Should the Dallas Cowboys make it to the Super Bowl and they see any team in the AFC besides the Buffalo Bills, you can go ahead and crown Dallas now. And I hate to say it, I almost threw up when I said that shit. No cap. No cap. Like, I don't know what just happened, indigestion or something, but something just happened. When I said that shit, I almost threw up. But I'm telling you, if they see any, and of course, everything right now is just so early. I understand that. Everything so now is so early. We're only 6 weeks into the season, going into week 7 tonight with Denver and Cleveland. I understand everything is so early, but just based on what I've seen the first 6 weeks of the season, there really ain't no team in the AFC, with the exception of Buffalo, that can really fuck with Dallas should they have to see each other in the Super Bowl. If Dallas makes it. None. Give you my top 5 in the AFC right now. Baltimore, Buffalo, Kansas City, LA, and Tennessee. Well, Dallas already clipped LA. Only reason why Tennessee really is even on that list is because they just beat Buffalo, which to me is the number 1 team in the AFC. So that's the only reason why Tennessee is even up there. I still have Kansas City on the list simply because it is Pat Mahomes, it is Tyreek, it is Honey Badger, it is Trav, and it is Andy Reid. So out of respect for what they've done for the game, out of respect for what I've seen them doing the last 2 to 3 years, they still have to be listed. Because come playoff time, and if niggas slip up and let Kansas City in, I feel like a lot of teams in the AFC have a long day ahead of them. I really do. And that's just solely off the ability of Pat. Because the defense, I know the defense ain't on shit. I already know that. We all know that. So it would have to be Pat putting up 50 to 60 points. The sick part about it all is the nigga can do that. So that's why Kansas City is still in my top 5. But if we look at those teams, this is my top 5 again. Baltimore, Buffalo, Kansas City, LA, and Tennessee. If we look at those 5 teams from the AFC, I think Dallas clips 4 to 5. Should they see each other in the playoffs? Again, barring injury and just based on what I've seen this year, I think Dallas clips 4 out of the 5. Top 5 in the NFC. I have Dallas, LA, Arizona, Tampa, and Green Bay. Mind you, this is in no particular order. So the way I'm saying it is just the way I have it listed. But that is my top 5 for the NFC. Dallas, the Rams, Arizona, Tampa Bay, and Green Bay. I think that if any of those 4 teams not named Dallas have to go into Dallas, have to go into Jerry World, I mean, shit. They're clipped. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. I don't know what niggas want me to say. Like, I just have to be honest, and I just have to give y'all like my honest opinion. I really do. Now, if my pops and Tavian was sitting right here, I might be on some different energy. But if we being 100, if we keeping it 100, the biggest threats to the Super Bowl championship out of the 10 teams that I just listed, and I'll go over it one more time. Top 10 teams in the league right now, in my opinion: Dallas, LA, both LA teams, Arizona, Tampa, Green Bay, Baltimore, Buffalo, Kansas City, and Tennessee. If we take those 10, Dallas is clipping. And I'm going to say this shit too. Dallas is clipping with ease 7 out of the 9 of the remaining top 10 teams in the NFL right now. And I really think it's easy. Like, I really do. I genuinely believe that. So I think niggas better pray. God forbid, niggas better pray for injury. If you hating on Dallas, niggas better pray for a lawsuit to pop up. Niggas better pray for Jerry to drop off. I mean, cause right now, it's wicked. It's bad. It's very, very ugly. I'm telling you, it's very ugly. No cap. Cause Dak is really that nigga. And that receiving core, there's really nobody in the league that can fuck with that receiving core. If we're talking about receiving core compared to receiving core, or if we're talking about secondary's ability to guard receivers, nobody in the league can fuck with what they got going on right now. Because quiet as kept, that nigga Cedric Wilson is a dog too. And Amari really hadn't even locked in yet. And they still only lost 1 game. That's an issue. Now, that being said, Dak Prescott did leave the game 4:30 game. Yeah, 4:30. He did leave that game in a boot due to a calf strain or whatever may have you. So I will be watching that very, very closely to see what is to be made of that. I think they said again that it was a calf strain. Running MRIs, I believe that was confirmed that it was a calf strain. So that will be interesting to see going forward. They do have a bye week this week. So, you know, he has about 13 and a half, 14 days to rest up and get back right. But it's a long day. It's a long day. Most obnoxious fan base in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys. It's a long day because God forbid them niggas win the Super Bowl. We won't hear the end of it for the next 25 to 30 years when they become irrelevant again. As a matter of fact, I won't even say irrelevant because that's disrespectful because they'll never be irrelevant. But when they become a subpar football team again, we'll be hearing about this one title for the next 25 to 30 years. So I would hate for it to happen because I don't want to deal with the bullshit that comes behind it. But at this point, it's about damn near inevitable. And I know it's early. I know I keep saying that. It's extremely early. But I mean, damn. Damn. Mac Jones played the damn best game of his career Sunday night. Niggas dealing with Damian Harris. They got cracked ribs. Damn, sprained his ankle. Everything. He's still playing. Everything. All that niggas still got clipped. That's the scary part about it. lot of teams in the NFL, about 95 to 96% of the NFL right now can come out and play their best brand of football against the Dallas Cowboys, and they'll still be whacked. I'm telling you, it's wicked. It's wicked.
In the bus and ain't up for discussion. Let's roll up a Russian. Lil' shawty, she cute and she give me concussion. Young Mason, he told me to run it. Hey, hey, I'm like, hold up. I'm flexing, they saying I glowed up. Put a perky inside of my cola. Hotline blinging on Motorola. Like, wait, it's deuce. I got the sauce. I'm lit forever. Ay, my money counter sitting on my dresser. Rolling with my slums. They